I am I'm interpreting myself. I recorded myself speaking English, and now I will try to interpret. I will try at full speed, but I understand it's full speed, like that's impossible for me. Like today, yeah, forget it. But here's how that looks. Whatever. Ready? I just had my birthday, so good time to look back at the past year and forward to the next year and review accomplishments and look forward to goals and kind of plan a little bit more. My next birthday, I have a big goal. I want to move out of the country for 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, I don't know, months for a while. And I want to live somewhere else. I want to live there long enough to get a daily routine, get immersed in the culture, and learn their language. I want to live in a country that doesn't speak English, and I want to learn a new language. That has been a goal for a while. Like I've thought about that for a long time, but it has always seemed like that's something I should wait. I should do that later. Now I have more important, more pressing things that I should be doing in my life. That I should be doing this mindset. I'm trying to change that. I think that's something to overcome, or at least review and say, should I be doing this, or am I just following this path out of momentum, or is it other people that say I should be doing this, or why do I believe I should be doing this? Why am I waiting to do something I want to do? I don't know. So try and really look at things and decide, why am I doing this, or why am I not doing that? Highlights from the past year. The biggest accomplishment in the past year is, or the biggest, probably most memorable thing of my past year is I started learning sign language. 6 months ago, we found out my niece is deaf, and that explains why she's not speaking. So I started learning sign language, and I felt a lot of pressure, at first, because we didn't understand why she's not speaking. What's going on? She wasn't born deaf, but she lost her hearing sometime in the past year. Doctors don't know why. Who knows? She lost her hearing, so I started learning sign language, and it's been cool. It's been a good experience. I feel like I've learned enough that I can express what I feel okay, especially if I fingerspell the words that I don't know signs for. I can't really understand when somebody communicates with me if they sign faster than me or if they have a bigger vocabulary than me. But other beginners or other non-native speakers, I can understand pretty okay. Native speakers, that's a different story. So the way I learn is through the internet. I don't have an opportunity to communicate with deaf or signing people in real life, because where I live, there just really isn't a deaf community around there. I live out in the sticks. So it's the internet. I look up stuff that I want to say, and I watch videos. And yeah, as of today, I can communicate. I can express myself pretty well. It's a good start. It's a good base, good foundation, to at least to get started with. I know a bunch of signs, and I can sign them pretty well. I'm remembering a lot of the signs, that go with the words that I want to say. But I could tell that I'm really, as of today, I'm speaking English. I am speaking English and signing the words. I'm not really communicating in ASL. I'm just doing the signs for English words. I talked with my sister's tutor yesterday. She's deaf, so ASL is her first language, and I expressed this to her, that it feels like I'm just talking English with signs instead of words. And she said, yeah, that's how you start. Like, that's fine. Like, don't worry about it. I think the next thing I want to sort of figure out is classifiers, or like descriptive signing. I'm thinking I will purposely not practice fingerspelling for a while because I don't want to like just have that as a crutch for myself. Like if I don't know the sign, I'll just fingerspell it. Um, I would prefer to just learn signs and then like learn classifiers or do descriptive kind of signing, and then get my fingerspelling better like in the future. A thing that I feel like is limiting about fingerspelling is you have to speak English, or you have to understand English, you have to be able to read English to be able to use fingerspelling. So I don't really know. I will ask more. I'm going to try and ask some teachers or some people that like native speakers and hopefully like educators, ASL educators, get their opinion on the idea. But I'm thinking I'm going to try and like purposely hold back. You know, there's no stopping. I will pick up things, but I don't know. It's a question I have right now. But to do any of those things, to use classifiers more, to be able to recognize signs better, to practice my fingerspelling, to get answers to these questions, really like the thing I need to move to the next level is I need exposure to people who use this language. I need to be able to use this language at least weekly, if not daily. Like daily would be great. It would really help. So pretty soon I hope to move somewhere where there's a larger deaf community and there's an opportunity for me to use sign language all the time. The way I want to live in this place or go to these places and practice my sign language is live out of my van, like travel in the van. And I think it'll work nicely. It'll be a good sort of a trial run practice, like learning a language and getting the van ready will be a good practice like in the next year before I travel to another country and do this. What else do I do besides sign language and aspire to traveling in my van? So I've got my shop, I've got projects in my shop that I work on, and I got projects like for my shop just to improve the shop. I'll continue doing a lot of that, but one of the things I'm trying to do this year, and I guess another sort of a mindset or a new thing in my life, feels kind of grandiose calling it that, but another thing is I guess I'm learning to let go of old projects that don't hold my interest anymore. Sort of obsolete things. Like I used to be into motorcycles and I had a few motorcycles that I wanted to restore, but I don't have time for that anymore. I've got other things I would rather be doing. So learning to get rid of old projects and not feel like a failure, like, oh, I never finished that or I never did that thing, that goal that I had. Good. Doing that is an opportunity cost. Get rid of it. That's something I'm working on and will continue to work on. That's like a mindset. It's kind of hard to measure, but it's a really important thing. I can tell. Spending time just to clean the shop, organize, make things like make your work environment nicer. It's like, man, I spent a whole week just cleaning. What did I get done? But then the next week, it's like, man, it's so much nicer to work in here. So I'll be doing a lot more of that this year. On a related note, I feel like a lot of times or up until this point, like I feel like there's, how to explain this? I guess it's like learning new things, like, oh, I want to learn how to do this and this and this and this and this and this and this, and not taking the time to say, okay, these are my favorite things. I'm going to focus on these and not learn new stuff. Like, just do the areas that I like. I don't need to learn how to do everything. Like, the phrase, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Like, I'm trying to really pay attention to that phrase. Like, just because I can fix my vehicle myself doesn't mean I need to be the one that does it, or just because I can repair that thing or install this thing or whatever. Like, it takes my time. There's a cost that goes with it, opportunity cost. Another thing that I've heard that phrase, and then I thought, I guess something like, I can do anything, but not if I try and do everything. Meaning, like, if I try and do it all myself, like, I won't have time to get good enough to do the really cool things. It's like the sayings, like talking about how good enough is, or good is the enemy of great, But there's also like an inverse of that saying that's also true. Like, perfect is the enemy of good enough. I don't know. It's a balance. And I need to see the other side of the balance, Don't do it all myself. Whatever. Actually, I think the thing I really need to see is let it go. Like, release it. It's good enough. Like, it doesn't need to be perfect. And making this video is like good practice for that. Talking to the camera, and I thought about what I want to say beforehand, but I don't have a script. It's kind of off the top of my head. Trying to like make this video and not spend a week editing it or whatever. Just let it go. Good enough. Make a new one. Make another one. Just go. Progress. This is going to be practice. Speaking of making videos, I recognize I need a hobby. Like, all I do is mostly just design and build out in the shop, like fabricating, machining, CAD design, that kind of thing. I'm learning sign language now. Like, that's a hobby, but I'm about to make it like a full-time job for myself. I need something fun. That's another reason I need to move to a big city that's got a deaf community. Just a big city with activities, other things to do, have fun, take a dance class or something. I know trying to do creative things can get, tiring? Like, it's hard to believe, like, yes, I should be doing this, believe in your idea or your goal or whatever. Yeah, this is a good idea. This, like, doing this, the reason I'm doing this is to learn sign language. Like, currently it's my only way, through the internet. I'm making this video just so I have something to interpret. And I'm using this as a milestone, something to look back at and see, wow, back then, the beginning of January, back then around your birthday, that's how poorly you could interpret your own words. So hopefully another 6 months from now, like, when I don't feel like I've made much progress, I can look back at this and say, wow, look at your horrible interpreting job. Like, progress is happening. Another thing that I know is good is having a daily routine, like just exercise as a daily routine. Get up, do some stuff in the morning, and then do some exercise. And now that time is flying in my life, like, time is passing, like, I'm actually seeing results from exercise. I could do the same thing over and over and over, and oh wow, a long time has passed. Oh, diet has had an effect. Exercise has had an effect. I didn't used to be able to do 20 pull-ups. Now I can do 26. Awesome. That was a goal for a long time. I remember it was years ago when I thought that would be a great accomplishment. So as of today, I can't do a muscle up. So I would like to be able to do a muscle up. A few muscle ups. So that's a goal. I don't have goals to bench press, deadlift, or squat big numbers anymore. Not since my back injury. And muscle up and gymnast kind of things, I think that's the physique I'm going for nowadays. So I guess I'll conclude with that. Time is flying. Like, I'm seeing it in my life that, yeah, time, wow, I just had another birthday. Sheesh, time's really passing quickly. Time to do those goals. Past time to do those goals. Why was I holding back or thinking, oh, someday in the future, like, I shouldn't do that now. I'm not ready. There's it wouldn't be responsible for me to, whatever thing. Thinking I need to wait on this or get better before I attempt that. No, I think that's wrong. Like, it's good to continuously try to improve. But I believe the phrase that says "get to work and it'll work out." Just get started and see what I can do. So I guess needing to learn sign language and not having anyone around me that I could interact with, and only being able to learn it through the internet, and only being able to communicate on video. I got to stand in front of a camera, show my face, show my hands moving to be able to sign. That's forced me in front of a camera. So what? So yeah, this is an uncomfortable thing. Like, I've wanted to make videos, show some engineering, fabricating, and like just creating knowledge or experience that I have, share it with other people, try and find other like-minded people, share what I've learned. I'm really grateful for people that put info out on the internet that I learned from, so I need to reciprocate. So trying to overcome the shyness or the hesitation or whatever it is. The need to make a video perfect before I put it out there. Just put in an effort. I think that's the key. Anyways, this is just for me to watch anyways.